Chapter 15, Autonomic Nervous System. We will not go through everything in this chapter. You will just learn the very basics of the autonomic nervous system. First of all, the definition, what it is. Let's look at that chart. That's a classification of the nervous system. We have a central nervous system, brain and spinal cord, and all other neurons, nerves all over the body. That is our peripheral nervous system. It's made of two parts: sensory, that carries information to the brain or spinal cord. That's how we feel touch, pressure, how we see, how we feel taste, and so on. And we also have motor or efferent division. It carries information from the brain and spinal cord to the muscles and glands. That part that carries information to the skeletal muscles and activates them so we could move our body is called somatic nervous system. And the other portion that carries information and activates muscles in our heart and smooth muscles inside of our organs and also our glands is called autonomic nervous system. It's made of two parts: sympathetic and parasympathetic. And again, it innervates smooth muscles, cardiac muscles, and all the glands all over the body. What it is for? It makes adjustments to ensure optimal support for body activities. It means it can speed up or slow down our heart rate depending if we are running or we having a rest. And it can make similar adjustments to all of our smooth muscles and glands. It's subconscious, we cannot control it. First thing you need to know is the difference between somatic and autonomic nervous system. Somatic nervous system innervates skeletal muscles. There is only one thick and heavily myelinated neuron that goes from the brain or spinal cord to that muscle. And to activate that muscle, that neuron uses acetylcholine. That is a type of neurotransmitter. Autonomic nervous system is involuntary, activates cardiac smooth muscles and glands, and the pathway from the brain or spinal cord is two neurons, not one. One is preganglionic, another one is postganglionic. They carry information to activate smooth cardiac muscles and glands, and to do that they use two neurotransmitters, either norepinephrine or acetylcholine. Let's look at the picture. Somatic. One heavily myelinated neuron, acetylcholine, activates skeletal muscles. Always stimulation of the muscle. Autonomic. One preganglionic neuron, here also one postganglionic, here is postganglionic. Preganglionic, postganglionic. Can use acetylcholine and can use norepinephrine. That is an exception, different ways of activating of adrenal glands, just one neuron. And activation of cardiac muscles, smooth muscles and glands. In most of cases it will be stimulatory effect, sometimes it can be inhibitory effect. So norepinephrine or acetylcholine will just slow down that organ instead of activating it. Now we go to the divisions of the autonomic nervous system. There is sympathetic and parasympathetic. It means that our heart and all of our organs receive two neurons. It's called dual innervation. One of those neurons will activate them, another one will calm them down, inhibit them. Parasympathetic division works when we are at rest. It conserves body energy. It works in people who are relaxed. Right now they are not active. They just may be sitting and reading after their meal, and they don't need to use their skeletal muscles a lot. So blood pressure should go down, heart rate should go down, the respiratory rate should be low. but gastrointestinal tract activity should be high to digest that food. Kidney activity should be high to eliminate the wastes. Their pupils will be constricted and small, and lenses will be accommodated for close vision. So, parasympathetic division works for rest and digest. Sympathetic division, on the contrary, works for activity, and it mobilizes the body during activity. It's also called fight or flight system. So it works during exercise or also when we are emotionally active, when threatened, for example. Skeletal muscles should be ready to run or fight, so blood is shunted to skeletal muscles. Heart rate increases, blood pressure increases. Bronchioles in the lungs dilate to get more oxygen for the muscles. Liver releases glucose to deliver more energy, glucose for the muscles. Another difference between sympathetic and parasympathetic divisions is where from those neurons originate. Parasympathetic neurons originate from the brain stem, right here, and from the sacral portion of the spinal cord. How parasympathetic division is different. Preganglionic neuron is long, postganglionic is short. Preganglionic is long, postganglionic is short. There is only one nerve to remember here, that is called vagus. Vagus is long parasympathetic nerve, a cranial nerve number 10, originating from brain stem and giving parasympathetic innervation to the heart, lungs, stomach, pancreas, liver, gallbladder, which means to the major organs of the body. Sympathetic nervous system originates from the thoracic and lumbar portions of the spinal cord. It innervates all the same organs and structures as parasympathetic. Remember, dual innervation. But the neurons are different. In most cases, preganglionic neuron is short and postganglionic neuron is much longer. One more thing to know is visceral reflexes. Our organs are controlled automatically. We don't think about when our stomach should to contract or relax. It all goes through the visceral reflexes. Usually stimulus arrives right here and receptors feel it. So sensory receptors in the stomach feel when stomach is empty, for example. Information goes to spinal cord through the sensory neurons. Integration center switches information to their motor neurons, and there will be not one but two motor neurons. Preganglionic and then switches to postganglionic, which will run to the smooth muscle in the stomach, for example, and activate it. And you will feel those spasms that you feel when your stomach is empty and you are hungry. Some other examples of visceral reflexes would be coughing, sneezing, swallowing, and vomiting. Referred pain is provided by our autonomic nervous system also, and because autonomic nervous fibers travel along the same pathways as somatic pain fibers, sometimes when something is wrong with our organs, we can feel somatic pain all over our body. The best example that you definitely know about, when somebody is having heart attack, sometimes the first pain shows up not in the heart area, but in the shoulder area, neck area on the left, or even left arm, and only later the pain shows up in the heart area. Another example, when our liver or gallbladder are damaged or have inflammation, the pain can show up first in the right shoulder and only later be located in the liver or gallbladder area. That is referred pain. Interactions of the autonomic divisions. Most organs have dual innervation. We said about it, so let's summarize. Sympathetic division increases heart rate and respiratory rate and inhibits digestion and elimination, kidneys. Parasympathetic division decreases, slows down heart and respiratory rate, decreases blood pressure, and allows for digestion and the discarding of wastes, that is, kidneys and intestine. One more thing to know: what is sympathetic tone? Sympathetic division controls blood pressure even at rest. We cannot afford smooth muscles in our blood vessels to completely relax. That will cause our blood vessels to dilate and blood pressure will drop and we can faint. So our blood vessels are always in the sympathetic tone, or it's called vasomotor tone. It means continual state of partial constriction of the muscles in the walls of our blood vessels to maintain certain blood pressure, even when we are at rest.